Wow, that was one of the great concerts ever, for me.
Bill Wyman, the quiet backbone of the Rolling Stones, spent over 30 years shaping the sound of one of the greatest rock bands in history. While the spotlight shone on Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, Wyman remained in the shadows, steady, reserved, and essential. His calm presence kept the chaos of fame in rhythm, yet behind that composure was a man growing increasingly unseen. What began as a shared dream slowly turned into a journey of quiet disillusionment and graceful departure. An outsider among legends. When Bill joined the Rolling Stones in 1962, he was older, more disciplined, and far more experienced than his bandmates. He brought not just musical skill, but professionalism and the equipment the young band lacked. Yet these differences created a divide. The others, Mick, Keith, Brian, and Charlie, were already bonded by friendship and youthful chaos. Bill remained the outsider, respected but rarely included. The group's energy thrived on rebellion, and Bill's quiet maturity made him seem like the odd one out. Even as the band's fame grew, that sense of distance never fully disappeared. Creative shadows and lost recognition. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Wyman contributed to many of the Stones' greatest works, from Aftermath to Between the Buttons. His bass lines added depth to classics like Paint It Black, Under My Thumb, and Jumpin' Jack Flash. But as the Jagger-Richards brand became dominant, Wyman's role faded into the background. His musical ideas and input were often ignored or left uncredited, leaving him to feel like a hired hand in the very band he helped shape. The lack of acknowledgement eroded his passion. While the world saw a rock legend, Wyman quietly felt invisible within his own success. The turning point of disillusionment. The death of Brian Jones, Wyman's closest friend in the band, marked a deep emotional loss. It also signaled a new era of control for Keith Richards, who increasingly dictated the band's direction. Wyman's influence diminished, and by the 1980s, even his finances reflected the imbalance. While Mick and Keith collected royalties, Bill earned mainly from touring. He once admitted he made barely a tenth of what they did, despite sharing the same stage for decades. What had started as a musical brotherhood had turned into a business, and Wyman no longer felt like a valued part of it. Walking away with dignity, by the late 1980s, Wyman knew his time with the band was ending. Recording sessions went on without him, and his bass parts were sometimes replaced before he even entered the studio. The final blow came during the Steel Wheels tour, when he was excluded from most decisions, treated more as an employee than a partner. In 1991, he quietly walked away. There was no bitterness or public feud, just a simple, dignified exit. His silence spoke louder than any confrontation could. He left behind the fame, but regained something more important: peace and self-respect. A legacy of quiet strength. After leaving the Rolling Stones, Wyman rediscovered his love for music on his own terms. Through his band, Bill Wyman's Rhythm Kings, he returned to his roots, playing blues and rock for the joy of it, not the fame. He also pursued photography, writing, and archiving the band's history, becoming its unofficial historian. His work proved that true artistry doesn't depend on spotlight or ego, but on passion and integrity. Decades later, Wyman remains a symbol of quiet strength, a reminder that walking away isn't always giving up. Sometimes it's the only way to truly stand tall.